We're in. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our 5th live interview of the SSI Live Cosmic Conversations interview series. My name is Sophia, and today I'm here with Daniel. I'm one of the science communication interns here at Cal Academy. In this series, we're going to be interviewing a different member of our SSI intern cohort every single episode. SSI stands for Summer Systematic Institute, which is a research experience for undergrads, or an REU, funded by the National Science Foundation. All of the interns that Nia and I will be interviewing are working directly with curators and researchers on different research projects, from plants to people to arachnids today. Feel free to leave any questions in the chat below, and we'll get to them at the end of the episode. Like I said, today I'm talking with Daniel, visiting us from planet Arachnid. Would you like to introduce yourself before we start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Martinez. I'm in Lauren Esposito's lab, and I'm working on the leaf litter project.
Very cool. So we're going to just jump right into the questions. Mm-hmm. Our first question is, what is arachnology? Can you introduce us a little bit to your area of study?
Sure. So arachnology is the study of arachnids. Arachnids include like spiders, scorpions, ticks, harvestmen, and they're arachnids because they have 8 legs, which a lot of you probably know, and that they have no antennae.
Very cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're doing a research project this summer on arachnids. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I'm doing what's called the leaf litter project, where basically I look at leaf litter, which is basically kind of just like dirt that's collected from samples of recent forest fires, and we analyze what's inside the dirt, collecting arthropods and all sorts of like that nature, and we're mostly finding arachnids. Specifically spiders, probably scorpions. I haven't done any of the fieldwork yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm planning on doing that. And as for the lab work, I will be doing that after the summer because my internship is a year long. And but I have done an example of like trying to find the different organisms inside the leaf litter. And the one and only time I did that, I found a tiny baby spider.
Cool.
Which was pretty cool, yeah.
So I know last week with the rest of Dr. Esposito's lab, you were in the field in Yosemite. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did there?
So I went to Yosemite last week, but it wasn't related to the leaf litter project. It was related to a colleague of mine, Maddie, and we went to go do her project or her research, I guess. And it was we basically collected dragonfly nymphs and a spider, a species of spider. I think it's pronounced Tetranatha.
Okay.
And we were collecting them to test mercury contamination. And at Yosemite, it's low contamination, so it's like a control setting, I guess.
Okay, so it's like really clean. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of mercury.
Yeah, not a lot. And yeah, that's what we were doing from Thursday to Tuesday, so like 5 days, probably 5 to 6 days.
Fun.
We were going to ponds, lakes, rivers, and we collected from a total of like six different sites.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Maddie and the other person who came, Amin, they were collecting the dragonfly nymphs from the lakes and rivers. Mm-hmm. While I was collecting the spiders, like off the shore, I guess you can call it.
Okay.
With if you guys can see the picture, I'm holding a net, and you basically like sweep like with this like hand movement.
Yeah.
And that's how you collect spiders like the easiest. I would say total I collected more than 30, I would say in
that's
total.
Impressive.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. It was, I would say, my first actual fieldwork experience.
Yeah.
Which was, yeah, it was.
Was that your first time in Yosemite?
Yeah, it was also my first time in Yosemite. Yeah.
That's fun.
The other picture is of me in Yosemite Valley. You know, I gotta take a photo.
Get the classic shot.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was pretty memorable. Yeah,
Very cool.
I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
That kind of leads us pretty perfectly into our next question, which is, can you tell us about any what might be like your first or your favorite memory you've had in nature?
Well, I would say this Yosemite trip has got to be my favorite one, because it's beautiful. Like it was phenomenal. But if I were to include something else, I would probably say just like visiting the SF parks. I don't know if that counts, but the parks here in SF are amazing. I like to go to them a lot, like sometimes to clear my head. I like looking at like the views it has. There's a park close by where I live, McLaren Park.
Okay,
It's
cool.
it's pretty big, and I like going there, spending time, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like SF is a really special city with
Mhm.
all, especially I think Golden Gate Park, I might be wrong, I'm not sure, is I think one of the biggest like
It
open
is.
spaces in a
It is
city.
the big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, I think it sounds like a really positive aspect. Like what other things are you'd say like your favorites, favorite parts of, I know you've lived in SF, I think all of your life.
My whole life. Yeah.
Like what are your favorite parts of living and working in San Francisco?
Well, obviously, because I get it's not that like for example, the Academy of Science, it's not that far from where I live.
Yeah.
So I get to commute here. I don't have to take like BART or anything. And just because I've grew up here my whole life, it's way easier to, I guess, stay at home and to not, I guess, go to another city and like learn different, like new things.
Mhm.
I'm just like, I guess, relaxed of staying here in S7, like not feeling any pressure or anything.
Mhm.
And I also like working at the Academy of Science because I've came here my whole life basically since I was a little kid. I've been on many field trips here, and so applying for this internship and actually getting it was like kind of like a dream of mine. You know,
Yeah.
it was pretty exciting. Mhm.
Yeah, there's a cute picture of you as a kid at the Academy. How old were you when that photo was taken?
I
Do you
have
know?
no idea, but I don't think I was in elementary school yet. Probably preschool. I would say if I were to guess.
Is
Yeah,
that you and your brother?
that is me and my brother. Yep,
It's a really
I'm
cute
the
picture.
taller one. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the style too with the
I
yellow.
know,
It's
yeah.
a good look.
Yeah, my mom liked to dress us like alike, like all the time. Yeah, like
Very cool.
almost like as if we were twins, you know? Because a lot of like growing up, people would think we were twins, but we're not. We're like a year and a half apart.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
that's-
cool.
mhm.
And then there's a really cool image of, it looks like a crab, but I can't tell what it is.
That
Can you
is a
tell me
crab,
about
yeah.
that?
That so I was gonna talk about because I've technically, I guess I would say I technically have done some type of like field work lab experience,
Yeah.
but it was for a class at SS State.
Oh,
It
cool.
was a marine invert class,
Mm.
and we got to learn about like all sorts of marine inverts. We also went tide pooling, I'm pretty sure, which I think this is where we got our crab. I could be wrong, but this is a this is a European green crab. It's
Cool.
invasive here, so that's why we were like collecting them, and we dissected them. Actually, this is like us dissecting, or this was me opening it, getting ready to dissect them.
Very
So
cool.
that was pretty cool. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it's related to like the field work I've done, I
Yeah.
guess. And then the other picture is when I was in Yosemite. Those are the spiders. The no the yeah the picture with the bag is like with the spider.
Wow, that's
The
a lot.
spiders. Yeah, we needed to collect 30, I think 30 spiders for each site.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's 30 in there. So,
Very cool. What do you feel like, you mentioned that like high school fieldwork experience. What do you feel like has been some of the most influential factors that have led you to want to pursue science?
Well, I feel like it started when I was young. So my dad, he knew a lot about animals, just like a variety of animals. I would say he knew mostly about the animals he grew up with in El Salvador, because that's where he's from. He's lived in like in, I guess, in the not in the field, but like I don't know how to say it in English, but in Spanish it's the campo, basically, which is like living outdoors. And he, you know, it got to experience a lot of animals, knows a lot about them. And I guess growing up, he would teach me a lot about them. He bought me a lot of toy animals, he'd a lot of books as well. And I guess that's where my fascination in like animals started. And like, growing up, I kind of wanted to be like either like a paleontologist because I was also into dinosaurs. But once I hit like, I say high school to college, I found out like I wanted to do something with like living animals. To this day, I'm still not sure what type of animal I want to like specialize in. Preferably probably like vertebrates.
Okay, so maybe not arachnids.
Maybe not arachnids, yeah. But this was a good opportunity for me
Yeah.
to like get into the work, I guess, the work experience, the career. So yeah, I still enjoy working with animals, but in the future, I'd probably like to work with vertebrates.
Do you know what kind of vertebrates you'd maybe want to do?
I have a few in mind, either canines or
cool.
or birds.
Uh-huh.
Those I would say was my top two that I have in mind right now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What do you feel like? You mentioned that, like, what led you to want to do this arachnology opportunity specifically? Just it's what came up.
It's just what came up.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I also did like spiders because I was a huge Spider-Man fan when I was a kid. Oh man, my parents have so many embarrassing stories of me as a kid pretending to be Spider-Man. But
here you are, so it led you to the right place.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, if I had to work with like any invertebrates, I would probably work with spiders. So I guess that's why I'm glad to be here.
What do you feel like is the most like surprising fact you've learned so far about spiders during this internship? Anything that like totally blew your mind?
Probably probably that I did not know that spiders, I guess, they can feel, like with their webs, they can feel what type of I guess organism touch their web. So if it's like something like very delicate, small, like they know it's like an insect or some like of some sort. So like they know it's like food. But if like, for example, I were to walk by, or if I were to just touch it with my finger, they would know it's like a huge creature.
Even though
you know?
just your finger touched it.
Yeah, even if it's like a delicate touch, they would know that it's like, this is not food. This is something else.
Wait, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Can all spiders do that? Or
I think so. I'm not sure, but probably the ones that like make webs, probably for sure. Yeah.
So not all spiders make webs then?
I'm pretty. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm pretty sure not all spiders make webs.
I know it makes. I mean, I know some like are more like ground dwelling versus like trees.
Yeah.
And stuff,
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Very cool. So before we wrap up, are there any questions in the chat?
Yes. You kind of already answered this one, but what got you interested in arachnids?
All right, I'm not sure. I don't know if they can hear you. So Daniel, someone asks, what got you interested in arachnids? Which we kind of already talked about, but
short answer,
people want to know.
Short answer is Spider-Man. Spider-Man, yeah. Tobey Maguire.
We have, how do you see yourself applying what you may learn in the internship to your future career?
Oh, okay.
And you can't hear me, so.
So how do you see yourself applying what you've learned in this internship this summer to your future career?
Probably the field work, yeah. Because my main goal from this internship was to learn about the field experience, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing that a lot this summer. So hopefully I can apply that to future jobs that will require field work. I've heard like from some of my colleagues that they've gone, for example, on like long hikes searching for like specimens. And I would say I'm prepared for that. So
yeah,
I really hope to do that in the future.
Yeah, I feel like fieldwork is one of those things that either like you love it or you hate it. So good to find out that it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm being told that I can be heard.
Okay, good. Well, this is our test drive to being in the studio. So
how do you approach learning about new things for your project? Or are you already familiar with the animals/topics that you study?
I would say I'm not really familiar because I'm not a specialist in any kind of animal. I'm just, I guess, interested. I just know like some of the facts, but I'm not an expert on any animal. So I would say, I'm new to this, and I've so far I've learned a lot about spiders, so that's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
And the last question is a fun question. Which Spider-Man is the best?
Tobey Maguire. Yeah, it's Tobey Maguire.
100%. I feel like that's like a controversial opinion, but I've only ever seen the Tobey Maguire version, really? So I couldn't even argue with you.
Nice.
That's funny.
Okay.
Cool. Well, perfect. That wraps up today's Cosmic Conversation. Thank you everyone for joining and for leaving comments. We'll be coming back tomorrow to talk with Curtis about his research in herpetology. So be sure to join us then. You can follow our adventures on Instagram at, I think it's SSI.
On Instagram and Twitter at calacademy_SSI.
Perfect. We're figuring out the kinks of this. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.